Well done, your princeliness. I'm certainly not in any hurry to get on your bad side.
I assumed you would attack us head on. I clearly need to rethink my opinion of you. Well done, Dimitri.
I did kind of attack head on.
You both deserve equal praise for a battle well fought. All three houses did extremely well. Don't you agree, Professor? It only seemed that way because of the caliber of your command. Even now, we must not allow ourselves to become complacent.
In any case, I hope the day never comes when we have to put this experience to use.
I wouldn't mind. I'll accept a challenge from either of you at any time. I'm kidding, of course.
That is nothing to joke about. The true battle of the Eagle and Lion is best left in the past. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually change the name of this mock battle.
How admirable, Teach. On that note, I have a proposition. When we get back to Garrigmach, let's have a grand feast to break down the walls between our respective houses. And by a grand feast, I mean a fairly regular feast in the dining hall.
You really value that kind of thing, don't you? Well, I suppose no harm can come from it. Count me in.
I have no objections either. And you, Professor?
This is actually a little nod to Claude's Almyran heritage, because one of the things that we do learn about Almyra is that they like to fight a lot. They like to just pick random fights with their neighbors and then hold grand feasts when the battle is over. So, and one of Claude's likes in his roster cards is feasts.
Oh, well, I'm not sure that's the point. Professor, was that a
Yes,
joke?
and my Byleth is the epitome of humility.
You look so happy. I love seeing you like this. I suppose that look on your face is just another boon from this glorious day. Perhaps the best one of all. I had a wonderful time today, Professor. As usual, I was astonished by how much you ate in the name of celebration. Really, though, I must thank you again. Our victory in the Battle of the Eagle and Lion was thanks in no small part to you. Yes, that is true. But it was your instruction that allowed us to reach our full potential.
I did that for the support points.
I feel silly admitting this now, but when you first came to lead our class, you unnerved me. You never smiled, and you never showed anger either. And yet, you didn't appear to be suppressing your emotions. They just weren't there. At first, I thought perhaps you just didn't care for us. But I soon concluded that wasn't the case at all. For the longest time, I just couldn't tell what you were thinking. It was though you had no humanity whatsoever. You're different now. In the half year we've spent together, I've seen the glow of humanity in your eyes, and in your actions countless times. I am truly grateful to have had the chance to spend this time with you, Professor.
And this is actually a fairly interesting point that Dimitri makes here, because both he and Edelgard talk about the lack of humanity, just in different contexts. Spoilers for Crimson Flower. Edelgard takes the concept of humanity very, very literal. And part of the reason why she has a problem with the people that she has problems with is that they are not human. Like, that is literally part of the problem for her. For her, humanity is really just, are you of the human species? Whereas for Dimitri, it's more defined as humanity in, are you actually behaving like a human? Do you show emotions? Do you care for people? So that's a very interesting contrast there. Oh, hi Dedu, welcome back. You missed most of the battle, I'm sorry.
Cozy, are we? Mind if I cut in? That's enough, Sylvain.
Oh, please. I would love to join you as well. I have so many things I wish to talk to you about, Professor.
Oh, me too. I have so much to tell you. And I want to thank you too.
Honestly, Professor, I was only able to achieve so much because you were with us.
Ash is right. You're irreplaceable to us, Professor.
Yes, that!
Without you, the Blue Lions... Well, we wouldn't even be the Blue Lions at all. Except for the blue part, because we'd be sad.
I suppose there are worse things than fighting at your side.
Wow.
I have had the opportunity to experience much. Please allow me to offer you my gratitude once more, Professor.
As you can see, you have our trust as well as our admiration. I look forward to spending the rest of the year with
Trying to get compliments out of Felix really is like trying to pull teeth.
Good. Then let's give it our all this year. Anyhow, it's getting late. We had better return to our quarters and get some rest.
I can only call your deeds during the Battle of the Eagle and Lion quite versatile.
Comparing against their performance at the mock battle of the Great Tree Moon, the students have grown significantly. It is clear that this is a result of your guidance.
In appreciation of your efforts, and to show our high hopes for the future of your students, I award you with this. Please continue to instruct your students as a model teacher.
So, you've made good use of all my power after all. I would have been upset if you had failed at such an easy task.
It pains me to assign such a disturbing mission to you during such a blessed moment in time. However, next month your assignment will be to journey to Remire Village to investigate an abnormal occurrence there.
Remire Village. If I recall, you've been there with your father many times.
I have yet to ascertain the details, but it would seem the villagers have been acting strangely. I have already dispatched the knights to verify the authenticity of this information. They should be back shortly. I suggest you begin by finding out what they have discovered.
I pray this is not a bad omen. May the goddess protect you all.
Yeah, about that bad omen. This Blessed Lance is effective against monsters, which actually comes in handy in Chapter 9, especially if you are on Maddening. We are probably gonna have critical weapons by that point on everybody, so it's not gonna matter much to us. Anyway, on to Chapter 8 at last.
Part 1. White Clouds. Red Wolf Moon. The Flame in the Darkness. Hoarfrost now graces treetops and open fields alike, and an icy chill blown in from the north of Fargus blankets the land. All of Fodlan's creatures begin to settle in for a long winter. The setting sun bathes the full winter coat of every wolf in a foreboding scarlet glow. Hunters can now spread the word that the Red Wolves are back on the prowl.
And there's Bambi on the left being protected by the man he and his father saved from the shipwreck. I think we actually start this month with an instruction, so I hope I have some people motivated. I honestly have no idea. I didn't check. I know Felix has full motivation because he was MVP. I'm not sure about the rest.
That's what we're dealing with. Is there no chance it's an infectious disease?
There are no absolutes in medicine, but the chances are extremely slim. Restless movements, fits of violence, becoming bedridden, or even impossible to wake. With symptoms that varied, there are only a few possibilities.
Rabies?
It's either a mixture of poisons or magic, and dark magic at that.
You're talking about Remire Village, aren't you, Manuela?
Oh my, if it isn't Gerald. Tell me, what was the first thing you heard?
Everything, after you mentioned that it's not likely an infectious disease. My child and I owe the people of Remire Village. If something's happening there, we must help them.
We scouted the area ourselves. Speak with the knights, hear what they have to say. I must go. Thank you for your help, Manuela.
You know, I'm more than willing to go with you to Remire Village. After all, I owe you my life. If you'd like. I bet we could even manage the mission all by ourselves. Just the two of us.
Once again, I don't need any support from Manuela, so we're just gonna take the option that's actually gonna lose support points with her.
You're saying no? Well, aren't you just a great big bore?
Nice try, but I'll be going to the village as well. Enough nonsense. It's time to move out.
As you like. Goodbye, Gerald. Goodbye, Professor.
Yeah, I'm not interested in your flirting, Manuela.
I'll be in my office making preparations. What about you? If you have the time, it would be helpful if you could go ahead and talk to the knights. Hey, what's wrong?
Yes, you can lose support points. It depends on which character, because some characters you have more opportunities to lose support points than others. For Dimitri, for example, there is only one single instance where you can lose support points with him, and that's before the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion. When he says, oh, it's almost time for the Battle of the Eagle and the Lion, you can pick an option that's basically, what is that? And he will be very offended, because obviously this is a really big important event for Fargus students, and you are a teacher of the Fargus students, so you should know. But other characters you can lose a lot more support with. Edelgard, for example, has something like 6 different points where you can lose support with her just during the pre-time skip. So some characters are more picky than others, and Edelgard and Manuela are some of the ones that are easiest to lose support with. But yeah, and also Rhea. There's also a few options that you can pick with Rhea that will lose you support points, and I think it's like 5 points of support if you pick the wrong option.
If anything feels off, return to the infirmary. No need to just grin and bear it. Got it?
I'm not sure I can get much medical guidance from Manuela, honestly.
Such dizziness. I felt it too. Actually, I felt that way before.
You can also lose support points, I believe, if you instruct somebody with 50% motivation or less, they have a chance of actually achieving a bad result in the instruction. And if that happens, you get the option to either console or criticize them. And it's different for each student whether they prefer to be consoled or criticized. And if you pick the wrong option, you lose support. If you pick the right option, you gain motivation and you get support. So for example, for Felix, he wants to be criticized rather than consoled. And for Mercedes, it would be the other way around. So that sort of stuff. Anyway, let's see who we can instruct. Dimitri, yes. Always, 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 always. We're gonna have to get his battalion back down to 75%. Fuck. To 1/3, I think. I wanted to actually put some points into Bow.
I appreciate.
All right. Don't we have Flame? Yes, we have Flame. Flame definitely. Oh no, we already unlocked her talent. Okay. That's good to know. Mercedes, I'll gladly take you. Alright. Ingrid is not really necessary. Ferdinand doesn't need it. Casper doesn't really need it. Dorothea only has half. She should be doing fine, I think, in terms of ranks. Yes. I just need to level her up a bit. Ingrid is gonna do fine. Let's catch you up a bit on your flying.
See?
Alright. Casper's gonna be fine. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with Flame anyway.
I have done. Well, no.
Alright. Golds, let's go. This is all looking pretty good. Oof. She definitely needs more skill ranks. I think these are all going to be fine. Yes, should be good. Begin lecture, let's go.
I've got a question.
I honestly don't remember the answer to that one. Let me look it up. Because I do want the professor experience from this, but I honestly don't remember what her preferred answer here is. I think it's cover your ears then, but I'm not entirely sure. Okay, yeah.
You really know your stuff.
Alright.
Teacher.
Nope. Oh, and we got a tea party with somebody. Yes, Felix. I will take free motivation for Felix. Let's go.
You're certainly not going easy on me. You fight like a mercenary, not a knight. You hunger for victory, pure and simple. You may not be aware of it yourself, but I see it. Indeed. Knights ought to have some hunger. I've always thought so. They depend too much on their swords. Only when they're wrested away do knights consider their hands and feet as weapons. That's not how it was for warriors of old. They weren't limited by their tools. Victory is what matters, not the method of achieving it. That's the attitude to adopt. I detect that in your style. It is plain to see. You may take it however you like. I believe the difference between us lies within that hunger. But where does it come from? From the start, I was aiming to win. Yet I couldn't defeat you. Then I remembered something you said before. Indeed. I was raised to value strength above all else. Whereas you had a reason, an ambition, pushing you toward that hunger. So tell me, what was the reason? Why were you driven to become so strong?
Because I was a mercenary and if I don't fight, I don't get paid?
Spoken like a knight. That's not what I would have expected. So that is the source of your hunger. I suppose I must find my own. If we're to get along, I think not. I'll be content if you continue to train with me. Perhaps it will come to me as I swing my sword.
Alright, there we go. Free support for Felix.
I see. So you'll be staying here for some time then? Honestly, I'm surprised. I've heard it's been a few years since you last donated to the church.
Call back to a previous chapter.
That was merely because of the financial situation of my territory. I assure you it has nothing to do with my dedication to the church. By the way, Dimitri, Isn't Edelgard currently enrolled at the Officers' Academy as well?
Yes, she's in the Black Eagle House. I don't believe she has any plans to leave anytime soon. Why not pay her a visit?
I may do just that. It's nice to stay in touch with my dear niece every now and then. Of course, I'm also delighted that I was able to speak with my nephew as well. Whether through marriage or otherwise, family is family after all.
Of course. The feeling is mutual. Professor, if you were watching, you should have made your presence known. That was Lord Arundel, the regent for the Empire. He is also Edelgard's uncle. My stepmother was his younger sister. We are not related by blood, but he is technically my uncle. Yes, my stepmother was Edelgard's birth mother. Edelgard and I are siblings by marriage.
Things are just getting a lot more complicated, but this is actually a very important detail.
We can delve into that topic another time. For now, let's make preparations to investigate what's happening in that village.
Oh dear. The princess of the Empire and the kingdom's prince are kin. How very odd. All beings are attached somehow to those who are their family. Yes, even I. I must have had a family too. I wish I could remember them.
Oh, Sophus.
My family. I wonder who and where they are. And what they're doing now.
We actually know who they are and where they were and what they're doing now. And considering Sophus's later actions, I am not entirely sure I would consider her a good member of the family.
In any case, about this Arundel. You've heard that name before, correct?
Oh, whoops.
Quite true. We came across that name within the library, right where the prince had been. I thought that Arundel had died, and yet, not so. He seems alive and well. I wonder what the prince had hoped to learn from reading of his uncle's charity. So many things the prince has yet to tell. How bothersome.
We'll get there in time, Sophus, don't worry. We'll get to all of that. It's gonna take like another 10 chapters or so, but we'll get there. Linhard, yes, let's go. I do need more support with him. I think he likes Angelica tea? Yes. Let's go.
I am happy that you invited me, even though it interferes with my nap time. This tea is my favorite scent. So relaxing as to be downright sleep-inducing. Much appreciated. Makes me sleepy.
Alright, let's go. School days, I guess? Or... no, capable comrades, okay. I am looking up the answers for Linhard because I honestly don't remember. I used him so rarely. Exploring the monastery, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Being surrounded by all these crest bearers makes me want to better understand crestology. Lovely.
There we go.
That was delicious. It feels good to relax. Well, I'm off to catch a nap.
Because yeah, I think I used Linhard in all of 2 of my many playthroughs. So yeah. Have very little idea of his tea parties.
This will be easy for the 2 of us.
I'm glad it's you.
And yeah,
Here is the
these
result.
dialogues for the tasks change depending on the support level between the people involved. And if you have the right combination of people, you can also get
One step before the
specific
next.
dialogue. one of the infamous ones for the Blue Lions is if you put Dedu and Dimitri on gardening duty, Dimitri will comment on how sometimes you can find edible plants among the weeds, and Dedu just says, please don't eat the weeds. Which has kind of become a meme, Dimitri eating the weeds, but it makes sense from a character point of view. He comes from one of the coldest regions in all of Fodlan, one of the most hostile to living regions in all of Fodlan, so trying to find an alternative food source is actually pretty smart. Anyway, let's see, we're going to go... First we need to repair some stuff, I think. Yeah. Repair. Repair. This is fine, this is fine. These should be fine. And we need to replenish everything, unfortunately, although, hang on. Battalions. Dimitri. Change. They give no critical bonus, but they are at least... Yeah, let's switch this. We're gonna lose out on the plus 10 critical, but at least we'll have access to the at least we'll have access to our skills again. So let's just trade that. And then we can go to the Battalion Guild, replenish. There we go. We can actually keep the Killer Lance, although, no, we're gonna give it to Ingrid, because Ingrid has a lower strength stat, so she's gonna need that a lot sooner than Byleth. There we go. Everybody else should be fine in terms of items. Ditch that key. Yes, awesome.